This song is for the mothers, and the mothers' mothers, and the mothers' mothers' mothers.
Yeah, let's go.
2020 was a rough year. All of us moms had to face some big fears. Yeah, we've been living through a pandemic, but I had to stay and homeschool my own kids. Stuck in the house, my computer is the preacher. I'm a child of God, not a homeschool teacher. Oh, you need help? I don't do math. Don't you have a teacher you can Zoom for that? Or go ask your dad. But it's a new year now. Things are getting back to normal, we can leave the house. Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel ain't the only ones. Real heroes are the moms that get stuff done. Well, there's so much more to say. Thanks for sacrificing with a lot on your plate. With all you give, you deserve the month of May. So here's to you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Mama, I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Mama, I love you.
I remember how it felt just a year ago. Stuck inside the house, nowhere to go. Trying to exercise with the video, kids almost tore the house down like Jericho. I deserve to go on a break and last. So as for me and my house, we order DoorDash. Yeah, I'm a superhero, I even wore a mask. Call me Wonder Woman, but with more math. Moms, there's so much on your plate, kids wanna eat again, but y'all just ate. Why can't you let a good mom be great? Laundry can't do itself, so it's gonna have to wait. You need a little space, you need a little grace, you need a little time just to wash your face. We don't need a reason you're someone to celebrate, but here's one anyway. Happy, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Mama, I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Mama, I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Mama, I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Mama, I love you.
That's my son.
I don't know how to preach after that. But happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Love you, so grateful for you. I'm very blessed. My mom is here. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Clearly, she did a great job, and so thankful for her. Just kidding. But I probably learned more from my mom this year than any other year watching her navigate a difficult year. And so grateful for my mother, and then Christy, the mother of my children. London, mom's pretty good, right? She's great. She's the best, right? So Christy's just the greatest mom, and I'm so blessed. I even have a great mother-in-law. So like, hit the trifecta on that deal. Actually, in that video, you see 3 generations of crazy from Christy's side of the family. So hey, this Saturday we're going to continue celebrating moms. We have our Single Mother's Day of pampering, and over I think 110 moms just in Norman have signed up, and then also single moms in our Newcastle and Chickasha campuses as well. And so that's incredible, man. We can't wait to do that. One of my favorite days of the year, just to be able to honor and serve single moms. We need more volunteers, especially people to detail cars. Trying to detail 110 cars in a few hours is insanely difficult, but we're going to do it. And so we need your help. Tara, at the end of the worship experience, will give you some information on how you can get signed up. A couple years ago, I got to go to the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and that's the only Hall of Fame I think that I've ever been to. I was just mesmerized. Just looking at the history, the accomplishments, the records, the longevity. And so, I spent hours and hours there just going from room to room to room, and you see so many incredible things. And so as I was preparing for Mother's Day, I started thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool to have a Hall of Fame for moms? Like moms deserve to be in a Hall of Fame more than I think anybody else on planet Earth. And I've got a couple of quick candidates for the Mother Hall of Fame. Check this out. There's a lady named Angela that her son was working underneath the car of a Chevy Impala, and the jack broke. And so the car fell on her son. The mom literally picks the car up, super mom strength, picks the car up to let her son get out from underneath the Chevy Impala. Now, had that been her husband, she'd be like, who do you want me to call? Like, we gotta call somebody? Like, what are we gonna call 911? But because it's his baby boy, I got you, baby boy, right? There was another mom that this is just a couple of years ago. There was a bus driver that had a seizure right after they picked up some kids, and so the bus was already driving. The mom starts running alongside the bus. She's yelling at the kids in the bus to open the door. They open the door. She jumps on the bus, saves all the kids. Like, these are moms that just do crazy stuff that only moms can do. Again, if a dad sees that, he's like, oh Lord, man. See you, kids, right? Let me tell you what's even more impressive with moms. Like, how many moms can change a diaper with one hand? That's Hall of Fame type of stuff. That's Hall of Fame. I could barely get it with two hands. Like, it's crazy. I'll tell you something that I could never do. You know, like the onesies, like there's the onesies that kind of button around this area, and then there's the ones that have like the full legs and the feet. I never could get it's like wrestling a cat, trying to get their feet in that. Like, you can't, like, that should be an Olympic sport. Who can get their children's feet inside of the full leg? How many of you have worked on a school project for your child after midnight? You've been up past midnight working on a school project. Okay, keep your hands up if your child was already asleep. Yeah. By 10:30, you're like, you go to bed. You're holding me back. You're holding me back. We are gonna get an A. You go to bed. I will finish this. How many moms have ever had to catch throw up in something other than a trash can? Come on, yeah you have. Yeah you have. Don't tell me what it was. I don't even care. That's gross. How many moms have changed more than 15 diapers in one day? Anybody? 15 diapers in a day? Anybody more than 20? More than 20 diapers in a day? Oh my God, 25? Can I get a 30, 35, 40, get on to 40. It's crazy. This room is full of Hall of Fame moms. In Hebrews chapter 11, Scripture records like the Hall of Fame of our faith. And in Hebrews 11, it's talking about like Moses and David, Samson, Gideon, the great prophets. But it only lists one mom by name in this Hall of Fame of our faith, and that lady is named Sarah. And I think every one of us today, but especially moms, can learn a lot from Sarah. We're going to start in Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. The Lord had said to Abram, and we'll see Abraham's name will be changed to Abraham in a little bit. Go from your country and your people and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great. You will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. He took his wife Sarai. We'll see it. God changes it to Sarah later. His nephew Lot, all the possessions they had accumulated, and all the people they had acquired in Haran. And they set out for the land of Canaan. They arrived there. Abram traveled through the land as far as the site of the great tree of Moreh and Shechem. At that time, the Canaanites were in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, to your offspring I will give this land. So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. From there he went on toward the hills east of Bethel and pitched his tent. With Bethel on the west and Ai on the east, there he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. Moms, here's what I want to encourage you today. I know sometimes being a mom can be extremely difficult, but I want you to know this. God sees you. If you look at Genesis 12:1, it says, the Lord said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. So at this time, Sarah is 65 years old. She had to leave everything that she had known her entire life. She had to leave her family. She had to leave her country. She had to leave all of her friends, everything that was familiar. For her whole life, she had to leave. And the Bible says, to a land I will show you. She had to leave and go somewhere, but she didn't even know where. But she simply obeyed the voice of God. It's just like, if you kind of put yourself in that situation, you can imagine living 65 years. than having to leave everything that you know. But her obedience also came with a blessing. Listen, the blessings of God are always on the other side of your obedience to Him. And I want you to know this, Mom. When you sacrifice for your kids, maybe nobody else sees it, but God sees. No sacrifice has ever gone unnoticed. Every single sleepless night taking care of your kid, God sees you. Everything that you wanted to buy for yourself, but you decided not to so you could create a better life for your kids and give to them. Maybe not even stuff that they needed, but stuff that they wanted. God sees you. Those countless drives to school and to church and to practices and to recitals, God sees you. Every single prayer that you have prayed that nobody knows that you're praying when you're on your knees in the middle of the night praying over your children, nobody sees it, but God sees you. The job that you gave up, the degree that you decided not to pursue so you could spend more time with your children, and nobody knows, but God sees you. God sees every mom, but there's a couple moms that we noticed and we wanted to be able to bless. So check out how you blessed a couple of single moms.
What's up, church fam? Hey, we have 2 single moms on their way right now. They think that they're coming to do an interview to encourage other single moms for Single Mother's Day of Pampering. But that is not why they're coming. Here at Victory Family Church, we like to do some fun stuff, bless some people on Mother's Day. So, this is the best part about my job. I love this. You're gonna love it. All right, can we do it just slightly different where maybe give me the last 5 cards and I'll hold them and you read them out loud. Is that cool?
I think I'm here to do a Mother's Day promo.
Really, I'm here for this.
I have created an incredible home for my son.
I bought a car last year
VFC is about to bless me.
with $17,000 to pay off my car.
By paying my house payment for the next year? No way.
Yes, Wood.
Are you for real?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you kidding me?
Congratulations. No, ma'am.
Are you serious? Holy cow, thank
If I wasn't, it'd be a terrible joke.
That's true. That'd be a
No, we love you and we're grateful for you. You're an awesome,
so
you're an awesome
much.
mom. We heard last year you bought a car. I saw a picture of the car, and originally we thought about buying you a car, but your car's awesome, and we love your car. So instead of buying you a car, we just thought we'd give you $17,000 to pay off your car. So from the VFC family to, we just want to say we love you and we're grateful for all of our single moms. So we just want to bless you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Holy cow, thanks.
Yeah, it's great. Thank them.
I didn't
actually pay for it. Those people watching, they paid
Yeah,
for it.
thank you.
Man, you guys are awesome. Again, it's not me or the staff. It's you guys that are just incredible, and you're faithful and you're generous. and allows us all together to be able to do stuff like this. It's also cool. I had a friend call me last week, and he said, hey, we're getting a new car for my wife, and she is insistent we give our car away to a single mom, so we were able to do that. And so I love that, and I just want to always encourage you, those of you that are blessed, you're blessed to be a blessing. And this is just my shameless plug. Those of you that are, man, you just know you're financially really, really blessed. Whenever it is time to buy a new car, man, just give your old one away. Just give your old one. If you don't know who to give it to, holler at us. We got a long list, and so we will help connect you. It's fun. I mean, it's fun to be generous. It's fun to help people. It's fun to be a blessing to other people, and it's fun. I'll tell you, it's fun to recognize some of the people that only God sees. It's fun to say, I know God sees, but we see too. And I want you to understand, moms, like Sarah, God sees you and he will bless you because of your faithfulness to him and your devotion to your kids. He promises in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, it says, train up a child on the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Moms, he sees you and he gives you a promise, and I want to encourage you to be patient with the promise. God had given Abraham and Sarah a promise. It was seemingly impossible. They were both too old to have kids. Sarah's 65. Abraham's 75, and God gives him this promise. They waited. They were patient. They were faithful for 11 years. Grateful, just hoping, waiting. And then after 11 years, now it took 25 years before Sarah would finally have a child, but after 11 years, they decided, hey, God gave us a promise, and we know God is great, but maybe we could help him out a little bit. Like maybe we'll take matters into our own hands. Sometimes we think we know God is great, but he needs an assist from us. Anybody's kids ever like that? My kids, they're awesome. They're so awesome that they want to come alongside and co-parent with me and Christy. They're siblings. So they don't think that we're always doing a good enough job, maybe in the way that we discipline, and so, or maybe our information, and so they always want to pitch in and help us, right? And so a couple years ago, I started calling them the assistant parents. So thank you for being the assistant parent of the day. That's great. You're doing a really good job. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing, right? And so London, in the most ironic assistant parent way, she made an Assistant Parent of the Year award. Certainly so I could give to my son. But now we just rotate it between the kids. I use it. The kids felt like you're not doing it good enough. Or you're not doing it in my time frame. You're not doing it the way that I would want you to do it. And that's kind of how Abraham and Sarah are. And that's how all of us are sometimes. God, I know you promised me. God, I know your voice. God, I know scripture. But it's not really working out like I hoped or like in my time frame. So God, I'm going to assist you. Sarah, in her attempt to assist God, she comes up with a terrible plan. Genesis chapter 16, verse 1. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children. She's now 76. But she had an Egyptian slave named Hagar. So she said to Abram, the Lord has kept me from having children. Go sleep with my slave. Perhaps I can build a family through her. Abram agreed to what Sarai said. You can imagine Abraham like, well, if you say so. That idiot. Sorry. I didn't say that at the 8:30. They would have been highly offended. As parents, we kind of struggle sometimes. God, I know, like I know you're faithful. God, I know your word says, but God, I can help make it happen for my kids. And a lot of times we're much more patient with ourselves and the promises of God for ourselves than we are the promise of God for our children, because we feel like I can make it happen, especially in this helicopter parent world that we lived in. Your kid doesn't get picked for a team. You think, I can make that happen. Who do I need to call? Kid doesn't get the grade that you want. You think, I stayed up past midnight for that A. Who do I need to call? Come on, you 16-year-old man. He's in the awkward phase of life, and Moms, don't you dare get on Instagram and try to find him a girlfriend. Don't do it. Oftentimes we try to intervene, we try to figure it out for our kids. And we have a responsibility as parents to teach, to train, keep them in church, be an example, but we have to remember their faith is their faith. We want to lead them into a relationship with Jesus, but we cannot have a relationship for them. We cannot pray instead of having them pray. We cannot repent for them. We got to do what God has called us to do, and we have to let God be God. And waiting is tough, especially when we're waiting on the promises of God. It is difficult. That's why I like Amazon. Next day. I ordered 15 pair of socks yesterday from Amazon because I'm tired of my son stealing my socks. So I ordered 15 pair of socks. He will be not allowed to touch those socks. They're my socks. They will be at my house when I get home from church today. And I'm thankful. They better be because it said next day delivery. Right? Some of you guys, you like Etsy. I don't like Etsy. By the time you get whatever you order from Etsy, you forgot that you ordered it. It takes 4 years. Like, oh, it's like Christmas. Who got this gift for me? You don't even remember, right? And it's too expensive. I pay like 47 cents a sock, I think, for those socks. Like, I don't pay much. Etsy, it's $3 million for everything. But some of you, you're willing to pay and you're willing to wait because of the value of what you're getting. How much more should we be patient on the promises that God has spoken, knowing that waiting is never easy, but it's always worth it. We got to be patient with the promises. Keep praying for your kids. Keep loving your kids. Keep teaching your kids, but be patient with the promise. You've instilled godly values. You've instilled biblical principles. And maybe you're discouraged. Don't be discouraged. Don't get ahead of God. Don't try to make it happen yourself. Teach them, love them, be patient with them. Here's the weird thing, is awful as Abraham and Sarah's plan was, it was actually the cultural norm back then. Oftentimes, if a couple couldn't have children, if they had a servant, if they had a slave, then this is the cultural norm. And sometimes, for all of us, it's easy to give into the things that we think are the cultural norms that we know are not best for our children. Well, I don't feel like my kids have a phone at 40 years old with access to the internet, but all the kids are doing it these days, so whatever. It's the culture norm. I know my daughter shouldn't be dancing on that TikTok video in that outfit, but all her friends are doing it too, and it's just kids having fun. It's cultural norm. I know my son shouldn't be playing soccer every Sunday morning, but it's the cultural norm. Now I'm not preaching at you, I'm preaching to myself, and you just can hear it. Now the TikTok thing, certainly I'm preaching at you. Stop that. If we're not careful with many things in our life, the voice of our culture becomes louder than the voice of our God. The results of Abraham and Sarah following culture and not being patient with the promise came with an incredible price. If you look at the lineage from Abraham and his servant Hagar, comes Ishmael, then comes Muhammad, and comes the religion of Islam. If you look at the lineage from Abraham and Sarah, comes Isaac, comes David, comes Jesus, comes Christianity. Think about all of the wars, all of the hurt, all of the hate over the last thousands and thousands and thousands of years because parents did what was culturally normal instead of biblically responsible. They didn't wait on God. And we still see the effects of it today. But I don't want you to be discouraged. I don't want you to think, I've screwed everything up, because know this, God is faithful even when. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 11, it says, and now by faith, even Sarah, who was past childbearing age, now she's 90, Abraham's 100, was able to bear children because she considered him faithful who had made the promise. If you look at the story of this mother named Sarah, there's so many great moments. There's so many great, bold steps of obedience. There's so many moments of faithfulness. But then there's also moments that are just awful. And you could think, how is it that Sarah, who devises this plan and ends up treating Hagar and Ishmael terrible, how is it that she can be in the hall of fame of our faith with all of those mistakes? The same reason Moses is. Remember the murder thing? That was a big deal. David, the affair, big deal. Samson, I don't even need to tell you about that. Like, this dude was just an idiot. Like, half his life, right? But God's faithfulness is not dependent on your perfection. Sarah is not in the hall of fame of our faith because she never lost her faith. Because God was always faithful. Her lack of faith doesn't cancel out the promises of God. Because He's still faithful even when we mess it up. And trust me, we all mess it up. All of us have massive parent fails. When my son was 2, Christy I could cook these green beans in the microwave. It was like a little bag that you put in the microwave. It's this bag's full of water. You put in the microwave, you cook it. It tastes great, actually. I know you think microwave green beans taste terrible. They're fantastic. And she pulled this little bag out, and it was full of water, and she didn't realize Beckman kind of slipped underneath her. He's just barely learned how to walk, and like scalding hot water right on his eye. Oh, and I used to always joke with her about the time that she almost blinded our son. Until one day, her and Beckham left the house early, and I was supposed to take London to school, and I left her at the house. She was asleep, and I was just getting ready for work, and I was at the office, and my neighbor called the church. He didn't even have my number. He called the church. If he had my number, it would have been less embarrassing, but he called the church saying, I have your pastor's daughter in my home. So now anytime I try to bring something up, oh, you remember the time you forgot you had a child? Yeah. It's a lot of parent fails. A lot of parent fails. But listen, God is faithful even when we're idiots. It's great. He's faithful when you let your anger get the best of you. He's faithful when you went through the divorce. He's faithful when you fell miserably in front of your kids. He's faithful when you're blaming yourself for the struggles that your kids are going through. Know this, God is faithful. And I want to encourage you, some of you are exhausted right now. Listen, every mom that went through pandemic, you're a hero. It doesn't even matter, like if you're here today, you made it. And you're exhausted. Maybe you're working so hard. And some of you work as if everything depends on you, and you just feel like I can't even get a breath today. I want to encourage you, rest. Because it's not up to you. Let God relieve you from the burden and the weight of false expectations and perfection. Every one of you deserve to be in the Mom Hall of Fame, not because of your perfection, but because of your faithfulness. That's what I encourage you, keep being faithful. Romans 3:23 says, all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. We're all going to mess it up. None of us can live up to the standard in Scripture. We're all going to fall short at some point in our lives, but that's why Jesus went to the cross. His death bridges the gap when we fall short. Listen, when we fall short as parents, know this. God's there. He's faithful. He's with you. And this is hard for us. God loves your kids more than you do. God cares about their future more than you do. He cares about their eternity more than you do. And for me, as much as I know how much I love my kids, knowing that the all-knowing, all-powerful God of the universe loves them even more, sometimes it allows me to step back and relax and think, the all-knowing, all-powerful God loves them even more than I do. He's got a plan for them. It's going to be okay. I just have to stay faithful. Heavenly Father, we love you. Lord, help us to be faithful. Help us be faithful in the small things. Help us be faithful in the big things. God, help us just live our lives with radical obedience to everything that you've asked us and called us to do. God, we want to be faithful to you. With your heads bowed and eyes closed all across this auditorium, maybe you're here and you would just be really honest today. I know this is a very Mother's Day message. It's not very salvation driven, but I know that there's somebody in this room, or maybe many people in this room, that you understand you've fallen short and you've never repented. You've never turned from your sin. Maybe you said a prayer, but you never have turned from your sin. You've always lived life the way that you wanted instead of the way that God wanted. Today, I want you to know, even though you've fallen short of God's standard, He sent His Son to die a miserable death. But 3 days later, He rose again so you could be free, so you could be forgiven, so you could have life, so you could have an eternity secure with Him. And if you're here today and you say, I want to be forgiven of my sins, and I want to begin walking with the Lord, will you just slip your hand up in the air so I can pray for you real fast? Thanks, right here. Thanks, a few of you. Amen. Thanks. Awesome. Amen. I'd ever pray with a few people that raised their hands. Heavenly Father, thank you for Jesus. Thank you for the cross and the resurrection. I know that I've fallen short. I know that I've messed up, but I don't want to live for me anymore. I will live for you. I will follow you. I'll worship you every day of my life. Today I'm saved. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hey, thanks so much for jumping on our YouTube page. My name is Adam. I'm the pastor here at Victory Family Church. This is my wife, Christy. I just want to say welcome to the family. We talk about family a lot here. Now you're a part of the family on YouTube. And so hopefully the content here will help you, challenge you, encourage you, or maybe make you laugh a little bit. So subscribe. We'd love to have you. Have an awesome day.